Episode 6 turns the running demo VM into a recoverable workflow. We will create one atomic quiesced external snapshot across both writable disks, copy the frozen base images into standalone backups, boot an isolated restore test, and merge the live overlays safely. A snapshot is a short-lived coordination point, not an independent backup. If the host or storage containing both the base and overlay fails, the snapshot fails with it. Work only in a disposable lab, preserve the disk map before changing it, and test recovery before calling any backup complete. Start by listing every block device with details. This domain has the system disk at VDA, the tutorial data disk at VDB, and Cloud Init Media at SDA. Only VDA and VDB are writable. Next, prove the qemu guest agent responds. The quiesce option asks the agent to freeze guest file systems long enough for an application-consistent snapshot boundary. If the agent is unavailable, do not quietly drop quiescing. Either repair the agent, stop the guest for a cold backup, or accept and document a crash-consistent result. Use snapshot-create-as with disk only, quiesce, and atomic. Give each writable target an explicit external qcow2 overlay and mark the CDROM snapshot number. Print the XML first, so paths and targets can be reviewed without changing the VM. Then create the checkpoint and inspect both the snapshot list and the live block map. qemu now writes into the two overlay files, while the original base images remain frozen at the same point in time. Atomic matters, because a two-disk workload is only recoverable when both disks share one consistent boundary. While the VM continues writing to its overlays, save the inactive domain XML and convert each frozen base into a new standalone qcow2 image. qemu-img convert follows any backing chain and writes a self-contained destination, so the backup does not depend on the original cloud image. Store both disks and the XML together, then inspect each result. The system backup reports 24 GB of virtual capacity with no backing file, and the data backup reports 8 GB. Copy these files to separate storage in production. A different directory on the same host is useful for this lab, but is not a complete disaster recovery design. Do not boot the backup files directly. Create disposable overlays backed by the backups, then import them as demo restore 01 with no network interfaces. Network isolation prevents a restored machine from claiming the source, host name, address, or service identity. The restore guest boots, its agent responds, and the data disk contains the marker written before the checkpoint. The running source contains the later marker written into the overlay. That difference proves the backup boundary. Destroy and undefine only the disposable restore domain afterward. Retain the standalone backup until its normal retention window expires. After verification, merge each live overlay and pivot back to its intended immediate base. Always supply the base path explicitly. In this lab, omitting base allowed blockcommit to collapse farther down a multi-level backing chain than intended. The corrected command names demo Ubuntu 01's disk as the base, uses active and pivot, deletes the overlay after success, and waits for completion. Repeat for VDB, then delete only the stale snapshot metadata. Never remove an overlay by hand while qemu owns it, and never assume the bottom of a backing chain is the base you want. Finish by confirming the snapshot list is empty. The domain maps VDA and VDB back to their normal paths. Both temporary overlays are gone, and the live guest still reads its post-checkpoint data. Episode 6 is complete only because both sides were tested. The independent backup booted with the earlier marker, and the live chain merged without losing the later marker. The versioned commands and complete series roadmap are linked below. In Episode 7, we will clone this VM, then reset every host side and guest side identity that must not be duplicated.